What is going on YouTube? Free Tendies Fantasy, Yanni and Ted coming a little bit earlier than usual because Ted has been ripping mock drafts while he's getting paid to be at work, and he was all ready to go. So we are going early. Ted, how is your day going, man? How are the mocks today? What is going on in the ADP streets?
Um, so what I've noticed is if you're drafting on Yahoo and you're a neighbors guy, he's going to be there like every time in the mid third to late third round. So that feels like something you could take advantage of. I really liked a lot of my mocks today. There was one I did not like, and it was from the 5 hole. If you want to go running back, or have a robust running back room, there is a way that can shake out if you're drafting exactly at 5, where you can kind of get boned a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was doing in that mock draft, I was taking all these. I was at like the 5 wide receivers deep that kept falling in value, right? I was like, oh well, Mike Evans in the like end of the 6th round or whatever. I'm going to take him, right? But he's not like cracking your starting lineup. So I ended up with like what was it? It was like Chuba Hubbard and something else in the starting running back. So that is interesting. But yeah, maybe we'll consider doing some Yahoo mocks. TBD.
All right. I am ready to go when you are. You count us. I mean, actually, we can take a minute and like see like K Space wanted to draft with us. We could see if he pops in for a minute. Um, we can just briefly. No, I don't want to open up all those. I have all those random windows. I don't know.
Let's just run it. We do too. Case Space, if he comes in, can
All
get
right.
on the next one.
All right. Go ahead and
All
count
right.
us down when you're ready.
3, 2, 1, go. 5 people.
Yeah,
Okay, we
we're
got it.
good to go.
I had the worst. I did a Best Ball Mania entry last night. To get me to an even 10. I had the absolute worst best ball roster I think I've ever drafted. I showed Yanni as I laughed at it. It was so bad. Marvin Harrison Jr. was my wide receiver too.
Yeah, you know when one of us is not impressed with the other one, when the response you get back is, "Yeah, that's definitely something a fantasy manager could have done." Like you make a decision. Oh my God, there's no way Ted is number one again. Every time, man.
He shoots,
Just
he scores.
just an animal with pulling the number one. I actually have never seen anything like that. It's very cool though. Good for him. Not thrilled that the Lions center went down today. Sounds like it's going to be an 8 to 10 week injury, but I would still take Jahmyr Gibbs number one because of the difference in the offense between the Falcons and the Lions. I saw some people like, I guess there's a pretty big contingent of people who think Bijan should be the number one because of the receipt. They think he's going to go for 1,000 this year, which it's incredible if he does, and I think he could. So there's a contingent of people victory lapping the Lions center injury. I would just say in general, because touchdowns, especially in half PPR, are worth so much more, there's no conversation for me there. In full PPR, even before the injury, I said this was acceptable. If you really want to lean into Bijan catches so many more balls, I want the full PPR Bijan there at the one. I won't dislike you for it. To me, it's clearly Gibbs at one.
Yeah, I'm a Gibbs guy through and through this year, but if someone takes Bijan 101, I'm not going to clown on them.
No.
I think that there's a very real world where a lot of the dump offs that HN had last year
Yep.
in Miami go to Bijan this year
Yep.
because Tua's trying not to die. So,
Did you
yep,
know?
it's a very real possibility. Did you hear that Pacheco sprained his MCL today?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. I mean, they have a pretty good that. I always forget his name. The Samoan guy behind him. He's like a pretty good player, a pretty good depth piece. He should be able to take some work if need be. But yes, I
I think
did.
they'll trade for someone. I think
Yeah.
like
Yeah. James
this could be
Conner,
an opportunity. Yeah, James Conner or Benson, whichever one.
Benson. Yep.
Pick your poison there, right? Like,
Yep. Yep. I wouldn't be surprised. I think there are a few like. So apparently Isaiah Davis is injured now. So it sounds like it's Braylon Allen behind Brees Hall. I sort of thought like if they were gonna have Isaiah Davis be the RB2, Braylon Allen would request a trade just because like I don't know, maybe it's just an eye test thing. Maybe it's kind of corny by me to put so much weight into it. To me, he just looks like such a starting NFL running back. Like he looks like a superhuman to me, right? So I feel like he could go somewhere and get meaningful work if he were to be traded, but I don't know if the Jets would do that, especially with Isaiah Davis down. I was thinking though if he's their RB3, like is he available for trade? I think maybe that's plausible. Um, yeah, very
I
interested
don't
to see
think
what they
Isaiah
do.
Davis was ever going to be the two.
No,
I think that was
no.
bait. reporting. Like, have you ever seen Isaiah Davis get drafted in one of these rooms?
No, no, I didn't take it. I dude, you. I mean, you and I have been rock solid on that. We've been crushing Braylon Allen at ADP, and I think you should. Braylon Allen was one of my most drafted players last year, and I'm still very comfortable taking him. I think it's like there's a thing where he could just have some weeks where he gets a touchdown, floats you an RB2 score or a flex score. But also, I do think if Brees Hall goes down, he's more than capable of taking the workload. And Brees Hall has had health issues before. I hope he doesn't go down. Brees Hall is one of my favorite players in the league. Really fun player to watch. But I believe Braylon Allen is built like a back who could take a real workload. Should events unfold that way. So we will see what the board wants to give back to us after doing my players priced at their floor write up. Again, subjective, small window of time we're discussing here, but Drake London did for a period of time last year.
You have an opportunity here, Yanni. One-time buying opportunity.
I know. No, we're gonna go Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors with Puka Nacua.
I hope these next two guys don't take Bowers, man. I'd be thrilled.
I don't like there you go. Sorry, dude. So yeah, dude.
Why you don't apologize to me? That's a missed opportunity for you. I'm the biggest Brock Bowers homer in the world.
Yeah, we see that differently.
I'm still aggressively drafting Rashee Rice. I see more and more clips coming out where people are concerned with how he looks in training camp a month away from the season. Did you see the one clip? He was like not in the play, like blocking a guy.
Got clamped.
He was blocking.
Yeah. Well, no, he wasn't blocking. It was a pass play. But he did get clamped. Yeah, I don't really care about stuff like that. Again, he's not 100% the team. Okay, so this is a start. Again, I kind of like doing these 3 wide receiver starts in best ball only and in 3 wide receiver sets. I would not do this in a regular league. But Puka Nacua, Malik Neighbors, Zay Flowers feels like that could be really fun if things were to break the right way for you. Obviously, we have to catch up at running back here. Time will tell if we can. Let's pull out the draft board because it's more interesting than looking at my ugly mug on the screen.
So I believe Gibbs and Rice is So Gibbs and Rice is my most correlated pairing of players I have at 22%. 22% of all of my drafts have the combination of Gibbs and Rice.
Yeah, again, dude, I don't really like you've rightly pointed out that you don't care about practice footage. I don't really care what a player who's not at 100%. The team said he's not at 100%. They've said he's still in his rehab process. I just don't really care what he looks like until if it's like September 1st or 2nd and they're saying he's still not able to go 100% in practice, then certainly I will elevate my panic level. He's my wide receiver 13 right now. I saw Ian Hartitz just nuked him in the RotoWire rankings down to wide receiver 19. I think that's a ridiculous overreaction. He's been fading him all summer. It wasn't because of the clips. But I still think we have to understand that, yes, he's only played 12 games since 2024, but this is the wide receiver 2 in half PPR scoring during that time. He has only been outscored by Jamar
This guy
Chase.
drafting right now is about to have Oh, no, he didn't do it. He could have started Cook, Hampton, Egbuka,
Jacobs.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, or Josh Allen. Josh Allen's sliding a little bit. I wonder if it's because everyone's kind of getting on the late quarterback hype.
Yeah, I guess the way I think about quarterbacks is just radically different than a lot of the market.
Mm-hmm. Meaning?
Well, I mean, I understand the value of a late quarterback, but to me, when you're in that 6th round in kind of that crop of really startable or potentially game, I guess season defining players is gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're let me scroll down here. Who are you getting into? You're getting into the Quentin Johnstons, Ramondre Stevensons, Mekhi Lemons, DK Metcalfs, Tony Pollards. I'll just take an uncorrelated quarterback. That doesn't matter to me at all.
So I'm
more than happy to do that.
I get completely bailed out from my wide receiver heavy start with Josh Jacobs on a 5-pick slide down to the mid 4th. Um, this is a start I would totally rock in redraft if I were to get it.
We're going full hero here. It's going to be a Terry, and it's going to
Nice.
be a Luther Burden, actually.
Hey, man, now's the time to do it. I love
Yeah,
that.
man. When Luther Burden is like just a depth piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if Luther Burden doesn't work out on this build, I'm not dead,
Mm-hmm. I love that,
right?
dude.
And now that people are like, we have the overreaction central, right? We live in content land where Luther Burden looks like he's going to be out for about a month with his groin strain or whatever, right? They're looking for him to be back by week 1, and now like he's going to radically move around. If you were kind of interested in Luther Burden before, but you were
Yep.
kind of yucked out by the price you were paying, there's going to be a buy window here if that's the type of,
Yep.
I guess, fantasy player you want to be.
Absolutely. I don't like, especially after going robust wide receiver start, going with the high quarterback here. But if you take Zay Flowers, you are betting on Lamar Jackson to have a tremendous season. So I will stack him with Lamar Jackson here. Pretty interesting start for me. Puka Nakua, Malik Neighbors, Zay Flowers, Josh Jacobs, Lamar Jackson. Again, it's not necessarily how I prefer to build a roster, but if I came away with that in redraft, like if things fell that way, I'd actually be pretty excited about it, I think.
Yeah, man, I think Lamar Jackson in the 5th round is going to continue to be an amazing value.
Yeah.
Like, especially since you started out really strong in your wide receiver room, and a
Yeah.
lot of I guess the dead zone running backs are gone. Bucky and Hendo are still there technically, right? But like, I'm not gonna kill you if you would prefer to draft Lamar Jackson
Yeah.
over Bucky.
Yeah. I think the two guys that feel really comfortable to me, and I think I'm coming around. You've kind of sold me on your, ETN take. Tootin, I still have at RB17. I still believe that if there's a league, not well, that's an obvious statement. If there's a league winner in Jacksonville, it's Tootin. I still believe that Tootin is such a better player in terms of an athlete, and like even what he showed last year, I think he looked pretty good despite being inefficient at times. I still think Tootin's the guy that emerges in Jacksonville. It's just a question of when, which makes me uncomfortable at my RB2 because if you go half a season of like 8 point per game at your RB2, you're going to take a lot of L's before Tootin really gets going. So I think the three that I'm most comfortable with there currently are Swift, Montgomery, and ETN. And then like you sort of have to decide, right? If Tootin is looking at potential concerns that I flagged with Bucky about like, do they have a goal line archetype, a passing game archetype, and then a 20s guy, which is what you're taking in the 5th round, right? That's a pretty concerning profile for me to go into. Well, if I'm going to look at that with Tootin potentially too, I'd rather just take the guy who we've seen be a high-end RB1 before in Bucky than Tootin. So that's like a decision I have to make is do those guys start to flip-flop around in my rankings a little bit because the value proposition there has really changed for me.
So like right around here is what I was talking about. When Brian Thomas goes, then I
Yeah.
think it should just be, even if I don't have a correlation, I'm more than happy to fire away on elite quarterback. And
Yep.
it looks like I got sniped here. I was going for Caleb. This guy did an uncorrelated Caleb Williams.
Oh, just the worst.
So we're gonna take Jalen Hurts first. Then I have to think here because I would like Marvin Harrison as a wide receiver 5. That's kind of crazy, but roster needs a running back right now. We're shopping in like the Ramondres, Tony Pollards, Jalen Warrens of the world. I'm gonna stop the slide on Marvin Harrison. I think this is too low for him. I'm gonna have to play catch up with the running back position, but I think that's fine with that wide receiver room. That's one of the best wide receiver rooms I've ever drafted.
Yeah, I'll pop over and look at it in a minute. I'm seeing what running back comes back to me. One of them will make for a very funny moment on the pod. Okay, it was Jalen Warren or Jonathan Brooks. We get Jalen Warren there. So we are going to take Jalen Warren as our RB2. Nice, and I wouldn't call it a balanced start because that's not balanced necessarily. It's technically like a modified hero, right? But Lamar Jackson, Josh Jacobs, Jalen Warren, Puka Nakua, Malik Neighbors, Zay Flowers, Brian Thomas Jr. Pretty happy about that. Let's see what Ted is calling one of the best wide receiver rooms he's ever built. Absolutely. Okay, so again, to me, right, this is how Chess Liam builds every single room when he gets the first or second pick, I've noticed. And that's how he built his Best Ball Mania winner and his other large field winners. So I think there's really something to this in Best Ball, right? A true hero. You get enough upside from Jahmyr Gibbs that he can carry a running back room, and there's enough running back value from like rounds like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You anchor with Gibbs, you say he's going to do his thing. You have to draft like he's going to be the guy you're drafting him for, right? So you're assuming you're getting like 22 to 25 points per game out of your running back room there, out of Gibbs. And then you go and absolutely load up your wide receivers and through the flex. So, like, if Ted wants to, he can go like 6 wide receivers with that build. But, you know, he might go more, but he could. And then you get a great quarterback where they're a way better value than like a Quentin Johnston, you know, or whoever you're taking. Mekhi Lemon, who still hasn't practiced this summer. You get a Jalen Hurts, who does have a 25-point game under his belt in his career. Yeah, I love that. Very good build. Very, very good.
It all depends on what running backs come back here. I'm hoping that the best ballers out here start reaching for wide receivers, getting desperate at wide receivers, taking the Michael Pittmans of the world, and that should leave some stuff for me here.
Looks like Laporta's ADP is up about 5 points on here. I believe that is the correct call. I think Laporta should be higher in ADP. I believe he's a dark horse candidate to be the tight end 1 this year.
He already has done it once in his career.
Yep.
It wouldn't be unheard of.
Yep. I think he is not properly loved by the fantasy community. Oh, god damn it. Blake Corum, top of my queue, gone.
I like him. Well, I think him and RJ Harvey are kind of close, but I just like Corum less than Monunga and Dobbins.
It was RJ Harvey or Corum for me. Okay. It's okay. Such is life. Why do you... okay, well, I mean, we've gotten into it plenty. So in your opinion, right, you view the Corum and Monungai bet as very similar offensive context. You think Kyron's more ensconced with the Rams than maybe I'm speaking for you, maybe not, than Swift is with the Bears? Like, do you like, if I were to tell you that one of them could outright... So here's I'll give my opinion instead of trying to guess what you think, then you can tell me. My view on it is, I think there's an outside chance that that Corum is such a better running back than Kyron that he could get the starting job this year. I'm not saying he will, but I think there's a real possibility that happens. Like, I think that's a much larger possibility than the fantasy community's acting like. So,
well, we're year 3 into the experiment, and there's been nothing that suggests that
he outperformed
Blake Corum is better.
He outperformed him in almost every single metric last year, every single one, on like a per carry basis.
Let's take a look here. I'm not just letting you off the hook saying that.
And then fumbles too is a big one.
Yeah, we did beat the Rams because Alfred Morris forced a fumble on Kyren Williams.
Yeah. Very good turn for Ted, by the way. And again, if you're building a hero roster, J.K. Dobbins is the hero you need. J.K. Dobbins will give you a sizable amount of like high-end RB2, low-end RB1 production this year.
Okay, so I don't know what, I guess, things that you're looking at when you say outperformed, right? I have Kyren Williams, 259 carries, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns, 4.8 yards per carry. Blake Corum technically had a higher yards per carry at 5.1, so there's a 0.3 difference there, but that's also another 110 carries behind Kyren Williams, which I would say would naturally kind of bring down your average yards per carry.
Yeah.
Are you looking at like advanced analytics? What are you looking at that leads you to say that he outperformed him?
Yards per carry, forced missed tackles per attempt, and fumbles was a big one too. Kyren fumbled a lot last year, so that dinged him on a bunch of like, grading type things. Okay, hold on. Oh fuck! Oh, I try not to drop a string of f bombs on here, but yeah, on a per carry basis, not on a counting stat basis. Um,
Well, because like if you look, it's like basically 66% went to Kyron in
yes,
terms of just the carries. That's not even talking about the receptions. I don't even have those numbers in front of me. Well, here I can
no,
try and look at it.
Kyron's their third.
Uh,
Kyron's their third down back. Corum's not taking the third down back.
Kyron had 50 catches for 281 yards.
Yeah,
Corum had 8 for 36.
yeah. No, Kyron's the third down back. God
So
damn.
that's like, including all of the touches, that's like a 70-30.
Yes, absolutely. What I was interested. Okay, so we're gonna do Rashad White because we lost our boy. We lost Kenny Gainwell back here. Um, no, so it was just on a per carry basis. He outperformed him like a little bit, not crazy, just a little bit. Looked very good to me, the eye test wise. So if you were to ask me, because who is the guy that I think could just outright win the job in a head-to-head competition? Personally, in my opinion, I think Corum is much more likely. I'm not saying either of these are likely, by the way. I'm saying between those two, if you told me one of them just won the job, like that's our starter now and we're rolling with it, I think Corum is significantly more likely than Manungai to just outright win the job barring injury. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not asserting that that is a correct statement. I'm saying that's how I perceive it. Um, and that's like part of what I like so much about Corum is I think there's a small outside chance that McVay goes, our offense is so much more efficient and explosive with Corum in here. And then because Kyron has had fumbling issues, like does Kyron fumble at a key time and McVay goes, I'm done with this guy? Like maybe. I don't think so, right? It's one of his guys, but maybe. Kyron
I mean, they
fumbled.
extended him
Yeah.
3 years, 33 million, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
would be very abnormal for
Yeah.
them to just say, yeah, we're paying you $11 million a year, but we don't want to use you,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Oh, real quick.
at least the reason. Yep.
Let me read off the drafts because I think both of our drafts are going very well. Gibbs, Pickens, Rice, McLaurin, Burden, Hurts, Harrison Jr., Laporta, Dobbins, Love, Rodriguez for Ted. Really nice backfill here. Touchdown, like, maybe a boom bust RB3 in Rodriguez. When he gets a touchdown, he'll be like a mid range to high end 3. When he doesn't, whatever, but you have Dobbins there to carry you for a while. And I'm really happy with this roster. Nakua, Neighbors, Flowers, Jacobs, Jackson, Brian Thomas Jr., Jalen Warren, R.J. Harvey, Stafford, White, Mark Andrews, stacked up with our boy Lamar. Mark Andrews is one of my favorite picks to make anyway, so you guys can imagine how thrilled I am when I get him with the Lamar stack. Okay, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you, dude, but we were both doing so well there, I was dying to read it. And I had to make sure we got that out before we go.
I was going to say the reason I'm more in on Manungai than Corum is that I think his role in the offense is more defined, right? That's a true 50-50 every drive
Can you pull up
or
the
switching off type of deal.
just out of curiosity, can you pull up what the touch splits was between them last year? I don't even know off the top of my head. I know by the end of the year it was close to 50-50. I'm curious what the total was.
Well, Manungai wasn't involved until Swift went
I know.
down, and then he had the it. I'm not doing that right now,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I can't do that.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I was just curious. Okay, a bunch of guys in my queue just got absolutely ran through.
I also just continue to refuse to correlate in these rooms.
Hey,
Uncorrelated Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts. That's right. We have our emergency correlation ripcord in round 18 that I'm going to continue to draft.
nice. Normally, this is like where I start taking these tight ends that I consider kind of mispriced.
If I can get Dallas Goedert to fall 2 spots here, I will have some correlation with my Jalen Hurts, but I'm not counting on that.
That's a great stack late if you can get it.
We did get it. Okay, so Dallas Goedert in, and
Beautiful.
then I'll look at the running backs here. I don't super want to reach down for any of these guys. I probably should though, huh? You know what? I'm gonna take Tyler Algier here.
Okay, so my queue there was Tank Bigsby, Alvin Kamara, and then Jonah Coleman's normally in there, but I don't take him when I take RJ Harvey as much. So we will go. Oh, there goes Alvin Kamara. Okay. Or there goes Tank Bigsby. God damn it. Okay, we're going to wrap up our running back room there, actually, probably. Maybe one more, but that's very strong. I'm very happy with that. Puts us in a position to pick falling value at tight end and build a nice room we're happy with. Yeah, I'm going to go Kamara there. Okay, running back room. Josh Jacobs, Jalen Warren, RJ Harvey, Rashad White, Alvin Kamara. I'm actually very happy with that. I think that will get you there. Yeah, see what we come around to in 15 picks. Ted with the late Dallas Goedert. One of my favorite late tight end picks in the whole draft. Very strong tight end room with Laporta and Goddard. Stacked Goddard too as Mekhi Lemon struggles to get on the field. He could have a pretty crazy opening to the season here. If he opens up as like their de facto mid-range target, again, whether he does or doesn't remains to be seen, but if he does, there's real upside there that's kind of exciting.
I had to fight every urge inside of me to click Jalen McMillan again.
Yeah.
I wanted some more Jalen McMillan, but I was like, that wide receiver room, I'd be shocked if Jalen McMillan is cracking any points in the starting lineup there.
Yeah, this run killed me. I really wanted either a Boston or a Stribling, but they both went. Again, Cooper's less exciting than Stribling, certainly, but I still really like the price on a first-round wide receiver this late. That makes me happy to get.
Yeah, I definitely prefer Stribling to Cooper.
Yes, yeah, certainly. Dude, Stribling's getting raves from the beat report, man.
Oh yeah, Yahoo made a tweet sourcing Grant Cohn today, saying
really?
Stribling is clearly the best wide receiver there. Full stop. Hopefully, you guys listened to our live the other day about NFL media literacy, and we specifically called out Grant Cohn as being a subversive, sneaky individual.
Yep. Very agenda driven. Probably a little controversial to call him subversive, but I'm going to go ahead and agree with you. I believe he is. Yeah, man. That's.
I don't understand why that would be controversial.
I can't say it on a stream. Cannot say it on a stream.
No words, no.
What? What'd you say? I'll tell you what.
No words, no. If you know, you know.
Yeah, no. It relates to Probopass.
That is one of my favorite. Dude, I had the best Probopass in Platinum Kaizo. By the way, if there's any people who also play Platinum Kaizo that happen to be into fantasy football like me, holy, he's so good.
We will take. I don't take him a lot, but I like Trey Tucker here, probably to round out the room. Just a boom bust, you know. Oh, sorry, you've been backstacking him, huh? Or you've been trying to swing back around?
No, it was Charbonnet. I would have loved to add some Charbonnet to this room.
Dude, Charbonnet is becoming one of those guys, man, that like I think his price is depressed enough and people are just treating him like he's not going to play. It sounds to me like he's playing sooner rather than later, meaning like by week 8. If he's playing by week 8, you should probably be in your lineup there.
And then this is starting to become a signature one of my clicks. I'm doing Marshawn Lloyd. I'm going to continue to hedge our bets here. The fantasy community seems to be irrationally, like to a really irrational level of fading Josh Jacobs to the point where Yanni almost got him at the 4-5 turn.
Yeah.
Just in case, I'm adding Marshawn Lloyd, who has done nothing in the league, by the way. So, yeah, I can't say anything about the player, but there is no one else.
Continue to build this room specifically. Mark Andrews and AJ Barner. Two guys with real ceiling, I think. Oh my God, and there goes Ferguson. I was going to say maybe I get lucky and get Ferguson at ADP, but he goes right after me. Maybe I should have taken Ferg with the stack with Matt Stafford. Maybe that would have been smarter. I think Barner, like, they're talking about working him in as their goal line running back, their tush push guy, like the scoop, the shuttle passes on the goal line. I think Barner's going to have like real upside this year. He's now on my redraft radar if I really punt tight end and just need someone in there. He's going to be peripherally as like an emergency ripcord kind of guy. It sounds like they're pretty committed to getting him more involved this year, and that is exciting to me because the ways in which he was involved last year were pretty good. I thought that was pretty exciting to see personally.
Yeah, man. So I'm probably gonna have a decision here, 18-12, unless someone else kind of does this. But if you were forced to build a Marvin Harrison Cardinals quarterback correlation as your quarterback three, would you prefer a Jacoby Brissett add-on, or would you prefer a Carson Beck add-on?
Carson Beck. I think he's more likely to be the starter by the end of the year. I wouldn't feel great
And
about it in
guys,
general, but I
yeah,
think he's more
well,
likely to be the starter.
you got to look at the Cardinal schedule at the end of the year.
Yep.
If you are not already aware of this, I know you are, but I'm kind of talking to the viewers or viewer of the show.
Do it.
They finish with they have a week 14 bye, then they finish with the Jets, the Saints, the Raiders, and then I guess that's it because week 18 is against the Niners, and that's not going to be fantasy relevant. But yeah, Raiders, Saints, Jets to finish out the year. I was like, huh, interesting.
Dude, that's...
If you're trying to win a contest, how many people are even clicking Carson Beck right now? I think more people are clicking Jacoby Brissett.
Yep. And, like, again, that's part of the reason why I'm not fading Jeremiah Love, especially in a tournament like this, right? Especially in this setting. The holy hell that guy could unleash in the fantasy playoffs. And it's going to be something that we are talking about all year on the podcast. Cool. We do get a sliding Greg Dulcich as our tight end 3. That's great. That's a very strong tight end room now. The holy hell that guy is about to unleash on the NFL in the last 3 weeks of the season. It's going to be the kind of thing where I'm going to beg everyone to please trade for him as much as possible if he comes out slowly. You're going to hold him on your roster. It's going to be a really stressful hold. Everyone's going to be talking about his usage every single week. And ultimately, I believe he could win you leagues this year. And it makes him very hard for me to pass up on in that 30 to 36 range where I think he's going to slide for redraft. It makes him a very scary fade for me.
We're going to do a Kate Otten add-on here.
Love it.
That was either a 6th running back or a 3rd tight end. Or is more inclined to do the 3rd tight end.
I'm very happy with just kind of all my rooms here. And there was a really good blurb on Mike Washington today. So if he comes back to me... Oh, no, of course not. Okay.
Well, Mike Washington was the guy that a lot of people thought the Niners would draft.
Yeah, he had a really good, some good ink. We will do Rashad Bateman with Lamar. I would have done Jacoby Lane, but he went right before me as well.
Yeah, that was me. I took Jacoby Lane.
That was you. Nice, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I heard that called a slappy pick today on Davis Maddox stream.
Yeah.
Listen, man, when we get... Oh, Deshaun Watson, 17th round. Look at that. I bought at the floor.
Narrative bump.
I like to think I started to beat the drum on the Deshaun Watson business.
Yep. Narrative bump.
Dude, paying attention, like, because I've now made this meme of a pick, I've been paying attention more to the Browns quarterback battle. It sounds very bizarre what's happening there. Like, Todd Monken is potentially lying to like the media about who's getting the first team reps, and you have the people who are like suggesting that Shedeur Sanders is about to get traded and he's clearly the better quarterback. Here's the thing, like, and they're saying, what's the upside? What's the upside of starting Deshaun Watson, right? Shouldn't you know what you have with Shedeur Sanders if you're going to trade him or let him go? And I would say that we already know Shedeur sucks. It's over. It is over.
Yeah.
He did not work out in the NFL. He's not going to work out in the NFL.
Almost certainly
That's
not.
okay.
No. I mean, again, like I think he'll be like a backup, but not work out like start somewhere. No. I don't really know. I mean, to me, the Deshaun thing is just because they can't dump him. His salary's too high. They're stuck with him. Like, there's no, oh God, okay, this guy's leveraging. Little leverage against your opponent, sir. Taking a Sanders against his Watson. Okay. We love some of the options back here. I'm gonna do a rare 6 running back build, but because I did the start that I did, we will. And there's almost no way an eighth receiver's cracking that top 4. Got 3 nice boom bust picks at the end with a stack. Got a really good tight end room we're happy about. So we're gonna do we just talked about it. Braylon Allen's a really comfy pick for me as my back end running back that I throw on here. Okay, we will wrap up my room before reading off Ted's because I am done first. Robust wide receiver start that I'm pretty thrilled with. Puka Nacua, Malik Neighbors, Zay Flowers, Josh Jacobs, Lamar Jackson, Brian Thomas, Jalen Warren, Harvey, Stafford, White, Andrews, Cooper, Kamara, Tucker, Barner, Dulcich, Bateman, and Allen. Very happy with that. I just realized, because I don't take Neighbors that often, did I leave the dart stack on there to take Stafford? Oh, that's so stupid. He's so much higher upside than Stafford, but that's okay. Gibbs, Pickens, Rice, McLaurin, Burden. Excellent start for Ted. Look at that. And actually really followed it up really well. Jalen Hurts, Marvin Harrison, Laporta, Dobbins, Love, Rodriguez, Goddard, Algier, Tesla, Lloyd, Lane, Otten, Black. Kalen Black, who we believe is the 49ers handcuff, despite them bringing in some old dusty veterans. I think it's Kalen Black. I think it's just because his guys are hurt. They need people to run practice squad.
I had to fight off the overwhelming Carson Beck click urge there. I think Caleb Black at the last pick is just it's too cheap. I had to take him.
Like, the phrase league winning upside, right, gets thrown around a lot. But if you want to talk about league winning upside in the very end of a draft, Kalen Black is actually definitionally league winning upside. So.
And I mean, this is part of the title of our stream, right? Christian McCaffrey was out of practice today with soreness. And we were talking about this pre-show a little bit. Here, let's get in first, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. So the San Francisco coaches basically came out and said, yeah, we're just managing. Christian McCaffrey has some soreness, and we're managing it, right? The last time Christian McCaffrey was out with soreness, it turned out to be bilateral Achilles tendonitis that basically tanked his entire season. Yep. So the range of outcomes for this injury for Christian McCaffrey could either be it's nothing or it's catastrophic. So, and especially coming off all the touches he had last year with, he's age 30 this year too, which is like traditionally been where running backs are falling off. We're now seeing more running backs surviving the age 30 cliff, but it's guys like Derrick Henry who are just physical freaks and built different, right? It does make me want to get my shots at a 49ers backup running back, and we are very not Jordan James pilled, especially with broken ribs.
Nope. I like Jordan James. I think he looked good at periods last year, but I think it's Kalen.
Who is that guy who doesn't like you? What's his name?
Oh, I don't even know. Fantasy Fanatics.
Fantasy Fanatics. I left a chat in his. I left a comment in his chat on his stream saying that I really liked the Kalen Black round 17-18 upside running back pick, and he goes, yeah, it really could be anyone. Debo's there now, and Jordan James is the veteran. I was like, I feel like calling Jordan James a veteran is a mischaracterization of that player, since he was a rookie last year and literally didn't play a single snap.
No, he did look good. I thought he looked good when he got opportunities. But to me, the thing, first of all, I don't know why they've roster built the way they do, where they keep burning a 3rd round pick, that makes like 1.8 million a year. They could have spent 2.3 million a year more and kept a Jordan Mason or a Brian Robinson Jr. I don't understand that thinking at all. Just keep a solid backup that you're totally happy with and stop churning and burning 3rd round picks, especially because if you hit on one of them, you make the fucking money back with the cheap rookie that actually plays. I don't understand at all the team building philosophy behind running back there, but they seem very committed to it. Whatever the thinking is, they are doing this, right? But my thinking with that is they had Jordan James in-house. He couldn't stay healthy at all. Now, this is kind of a freak thing. He got punched in the ribs in a practice. But he broke his ribs already. He's had 6 injuries at the NFL level, multiple weak injuries already. And then they go and bring in who they said was their running back 2 in the class in Kalen Black. They said they had him, I believe, behind Jadarian Price. Or not behind Jadarian Price, behind Love. They had him in front of Jadarian Price, behind Jordan Love. So if they really evaluated him to that level and they already had Jordan James in-house, it's very rational to me to assume that they brought him in to be the RB2 But it is weird that I mean he gets a little bit injured, and then they bring in they sign Khalil Herbert. Now they brought in 3 running backs for a visit this week. So to me, I would assume that that means Kalen Black's unhealthy. I would be surprised if they're bringing in guys that are going to make the final 53. But maybe.
Yeah, to me that feels like just practice depth,
Yeah.
like guys to actually play that position because you have Christian McCaffrey who's going to be sore and have a lot of vet rest days, right? I think what is the Black injury? Let me see.
It was, I think,
I
a
know he was
quad
out of practice. Adductor. It's an
abductor.
hip adductor.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've had those before. If anyone's had a hip flexor injury, they are very annoying. Yeah, you get this weird like nausea in the bottom of your stomach. It's like connected to your it's similar to a sports hernia, but it's not quite as bad. Yeah. Okay. So did you when you looked it up, did it say what the timeline was for him?
I only looked at it quickly
Okay.
because
Okay.
I'm building my queue.
Don't worry about it. Okay. So yeah, and another thing we glossed over it fairly quickly. Another interesting read today was from the Luther Burden injury. He was not limping significantly, which he would have been if it was a grade 2 groin strain. At least that is what the Twitter doctors are saying. So he is moving apparently in such a way that indicates it was likely a grade 1. So that means he avoids, Terry McLaurin got a severe enough one where he ended up like having a sports hernia basically, and that ruined his season. It looks like he avoided any sort of outcomes on that level, which is good.
Drake London gets pulled up to the 2-1. He must have read your article.
I mean, I don't have him. Oh God, I didn't realize O'Marion and James Cook have the same bye week. That's annoying. I don't have him at the 2-1. I have him as my wide receiver 8 behind.
Well, so no, he read the article and said, "Oh, he's priced at his floor. I got to bump him up."
So I mean, I defend. We'll see. I need to get that article out. I had to do my 49ers hub thing. I think I defend that take pretty well. He was at 19.7 points per game before his PCL injury, which would have been like the wide receiver 1 on the year, or wide receiver 2 on the year behind JSN. So to me, I do think you're buying at a pretty sizable injury discount with that. Like I would be surprised if Drake London's healthy. He's been a 16.8 point per game guy for 2 years in a row, and before his PCL injury, he was pacing for almost 20 points a game. I would be surprised if he's healthy if he doesn't finish as a mid-range wide receiver 1 where he's currently priced. But he's also not healthy a lot. The guy gets injured a lot, and he has Tua throwing him the ball. So, oof. It was kind of a hard call between him and Jefferson for me. I have A.J. Brown and Lamb ahead of Jefferson, and I honestly would not dislike someone who takes Drake London before Jefferson. I actually understand doing that. Okay, Ted gets the very good start. I would be so happy with that. Because of the Drake London and Brock Bowers pull-up, he gets A-Chain at the 5th. That will happen a lot, though. That's not like a crazy fall. It definitely happens. I have a lot of JSN A-Chain starts, but they're wonderful starts. I love that. Potentially getting like 100 or 280 receptions from your first 2 picks, and one of them's a running back. That is nice and comfy.
Malik Neighbors continues to just go at the end of the second round in these rooms. I feel like it's only mildly ahead of where I feel comfortable drafting him, but it is like a noticeable, I guess, community sentiment that Neighbors should be going before Rice and Pickens, at least in these rooms.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in kind of a weird spot. I drafted a lot of Pickens early, so I have a lot of Pickens. I do take a good amount of Rice, so I have a good amount of Rice. I was taking no Neighbors because I thought he was going to miss 6 to 8 weeks. So I'm in a weird situation where I'm trying to catch up a little bit on exposure to him because, like, now I placed my bets and my bets did not go well. So I'm trying to get some shares here while I can. I'm fine with him anywhere in there.
So I am refusing to draft Breece Hall. I'm going Josh Jacobs.
Completely fine with that.
That is seen as a taco pick by the industry experts.
Oh man, that caused holy hell on a NFPC high stakes draft the other night. The guy went Josh Jacobs in the 4th, and he was getting trashed for it. All right, guys.
I would cordially like to invite the industry experts to suck my balls. I will be taking Josh Jacobs there comfortably before Breece Hall, Kyren Williams, and Javonte. And then I think once he's gone, then the Brees, Kyron, Javante conversation is pretty interesting.
Brees, Kyron, Javante, Jacobs. Yeah, I mean, I have those guys all. I called it my tier of like pseudo wide receiver ones. So this is a weird pick that I'm probably gonna make, maybe a little bit of a reach. When I did my dive on players priced at their ceiling, I did not like a lot of the stuff with Olave that I came up with. Like I was like, ooh, none of that actually feels very good to me. So we're gonna shoot for a Justin Herbert roster here in the late seventh, and we're gonna go Lad McConkey there. Um, yeah, just a little bit bearish on Olave. I think there's some things that could go pretty south this year. Primarily because I think Jordan Tyson's a better physical talent than he is. Olave's a better football player, but I think Jordan Tyson's a better physical talent, and he's a physical talent that they are specifically telling us is going to work short to intermediate routes and like be the chain mover guy. And if that and concurrently that would then push Olave into a true X receiver downfield role. If that happens, I think there is way more floor for Olave than the market is pricing in. Okay, we end up getting him anyway, so after that whole trashing, we'll take him. In the fourth round, that's fine. I'm just saying that's how you should play players that you're not thrilled about. By the way, is don't pay market price, but if the price comes down enough, like that's 8 or 9 picks, 30% behind ADP there, yeah, I'll take him. But yeah, I think there's real floor with Olave, and I'm seeing like I know the domain fantasy guys are extremely high on Olave. I know that he won people a lot of money last year. He was one of the 15 power law players, one of the 15 players that defined wins above replacement at like the league winning rate, right? I completely understand. To me, I think every single factor that you would apply to Olave, besides the fact that he's an established NFL veteran, applies to Jordan Tyson this year. And they took Jordan Tyson higher, and I think Jordan Tyson's a better talent. So I will just, if I want to invest in that, I will take round 6 or 7. He's probably going to be round 7 in most redraft lobbies, but I think you're going to end up having to take him round 6. I will just take mid-round Jordan Tyson and let someone else take Olave up here. Give me Rashee Rice. I have Rashee Rice at 13, Zay Flowers at 14, and Emeka Egbuka at 15, and Olave at 16. And then I have a tier break down to Lad. I might push Lad into that same tier and push him above Olave because I think I'm taking him above him now. What do you?
Taco Rancher gets a great deal there on ETN at the 4.9. If he falls that far, guys, especially if you have a wide receiver start, be excited about that click. Get into the ETN grossness. I encourage you. I think he's going to be better
I like your start a lot.
than you might think.
I like your start a lot there. I'm really not that worried about. I love that guy at 1. Good golly, if I build that in redraft, guys, I am gonna be thrilled. So like Pickens, right? I actually talked about this because one of the questions I've gotten a lot on Reddit is like, well, how do you actually balance upside with like how do I chase upside? If my team's all upside, then there's no floor. What do I do? And that's like a good question. Actually, I was thinking of like I should do a standalone article on that. Well, this is what you do: is you take a high volume, high floor guy like Rashee Rice, and then you take a super high ceiling, low floor guy like George Pickens. And then you take a volume bet, right? David Montgomery, Mike Evans should both, while they're on the field, be pretty high floor this year. So then when Pickens spikes, your roster goes to the moon. All of these guys can spike too, obviously. But that's how you mitigate risk and balance it out. So like, who do I not like pairing George Pickens with? Do not take a Carnell Tate with George Pickens. I'm worried that Devontae Adams is going to be a little bit touchdown dependent this year. Do not take a Devontae Adams with George Pickens. Jamison Williams. Do not pair a Jamison Williams with George Pickens because then your room has a ceiling of 65 and a floor of 8. And if you need your roster to hit 3 weeks in a row with a floor of 65 or with a floor of 8 and a roster of 65, that's a tough value proposition. Jamison Williams, McLaurin, JSN, incredible wide receiver room. You have the ultimate volume player, one of them in the whole sport. You have another volume play, I think, in Terry McLaurin. People are saying he's never been a volume receiver in his career. I don't know what that means. You have a reliable guy. And then you have a guy that's going to come in and absolutely behead people for you on his big spike weeks. Okay. Do we
Lamar's too cheap there, dude.
I don't. Yeah, but I don't want. I don't take him unless I have Flowers. Not a Parker Washington in the stack.
Yeah, I'm not ripping Parker Washington over an elite. quarterback in the tier one of quarterbacks, right? Like
I
we can
understand.
like Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Caleb Williams, but Lamar is different, man. I feel like a lot of people got hurt by him last year. Like this, you're getting someone is getting sixth round Lamar Jackson.
Hmm.
It'll be me if he makes it that far. I'm not counting on that though. You might still get him. That's insane. You might have played 60 chess.
Well, that is part of why you make that pick. Is dude, I'm like pretty happy to.
Dude,
So that would have been
please.
that would have been Jordan. That would have been Jordan Tyson for me. But again, right? So I don't like taking Lamar without Zay Flowers, but I just showed it with Olave, right? I'll let a guy pass that I'm not necessarily happy with their market price, but if they slide to you, yeah, I think you should take him. Again, I was going to take Jordan Tyson there if not and shoot for a Tyler Shuck stack. That's fine though. Lamar's a good consolation prize in the sixth. Ultimately, right, best ball is about chasing like upside, and Lamar has a upside unlike very many players in the sport. So
Yeah, dude, you got the best of both worlds because I don't know. Well, maybe with the hype that Parker Washington is getting, you would get him coming back. But to me, I would put the Lamar Jackson in the bag first, and then kind of hope Parker Washington came back. But you played that perfectly. That's one of the cheapest I've seen Lamar Jackson be, and I think that he continues to be mispriced in these rooms.
Vegas has him as like the third or second best offense in the league. And then, so that's another one. I absolutely love the price of the Terry McLaurin, Jaden Daniels stack. Look, I understand. They just lost a left tackle. That is going to affect EPA per play. That is going to affect downfield efficiency. There's real concern that now with Stephon Diggs added, with White added, they added three short 8 targets with Chigakonkwo as well. Does Terry McLaurin get relegated to the outside X receiver? Does the move wide receiver that they've been talking about Terry being? They said our goal is to get Terry 12 targets a game. Does that no longer exist with Stephon Diggs? I think that's going to be on the market's mind. In my opinion, the price that you are paying, especially in best ball, but in redraft as well, for either Terry or Jaden, but specifically in best ball for the Jaden Terry stack, is absolutely ridiculous. I think Jaden could very easily be the QB1 overall this year. I'm higher on Jaden than Theodore is. His rookie
I'm a
year.
Jaden Bull this year. I mean,
Yeah.
you were there first.
No,
You
no, no,
like
no. I'm
much
not.
like I was there
Yeah,
first with Bucky Irving. You were
yeah.
there first with Jaden Daniels.
No, I drafted Bucky. But you did trade ETN for him. No, no, I'm not saying I was there for it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like I think you're maybe a little more cautious about like injuries, and you like Drake May a lot. Well, let's make you pick before we're talking here. Okay, bully quarterback for Ted, Caleb Williams. That is like a room
Mid
that'll.
seventh is too cheap. Like
Yeah.
he to me, he's the last one of those elite quarterbacks. And now what I'm doing in these rooms, I'm focusing less on correlation. It's nice if I can get it. I do have a correlated Jaden and Terry, but like to me, like I'm not gonna draft Ramondre Stevenson or Josh Downs or Tony Pollard or Makai Lemon over like Caleb Williams.
Nice. We will see how this breaks. This may be the ultimate hype beast draft for me, and you guys will see why in a moment.
And the guy behind me had Luther Burden, so he probably thought, "Oh my gosh, I'm getting Caleb here." Just
Nice.
ruined his day. Got to be careful with that. Just because you have a stack in these lobbies doesn't mean you are like bound to get that either, right?
Okay.
Like
So we are going full Slaposaurus Rex. We're going to take Jonathan Brooks 5 picks ahead of ADP. So we have a Jonathan Brooks, Parker Washington roster here. And honestly, I would say Lad McConkey is maybe a little bit slappy. Not full slappy, but a little bit.
I
Uh,
co-sign Lad McConkey slappiness at a minimum, so I'm not
yeah.
totally against being a slappy.
Yeah.
I like to pick my shots though.
And again, this is just a weird. I don't normally ever build rosters like this, so we're just going to go really weird. Although Trevor Lawrence goes there, which kills me. Hopefully, we get our other premium quarterback stack here that we have our eyes on. Okay, we do. Very strong room of our own here. Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert double stacked with Omarion Hampton and Lad McConkey. Very weird 2-3-3 start. I don't think I ever build like that, but maybe something interesting happens.
I'll probably follow you into the 2-3-3 here if my champion Chuba Hubbard falls to me.
Nice. Yeah, but so Maybe I'm biased about Jaden because that was the first year that I really like went off in fantasy football, right? That was when like I rounded a corner without getting into the specifics. And it was in large part because I took 5 Jaden Daniels out of 10 rosters in like round 9 or 10 or 8 or 9. I think he ended up going as like the 8-9 turn. So I have a weird emotional attachment to him, which maybe makes me irrational. Chuba goes one pick before Ted. But God, man, I think Jaden's at the right price this year. I wouldn't be surprised if we look up at the end of the year and he's been defining seasons. Love the Dowdle pick. I continue to think Dowdle is a good price at cost. I think he is the first and second down running back. And, you know, if you're a fader, certainly, of Warren, I know there's a lot of people who are, then Dowdle's like an incredible value for where you're getting him.
Yeah, man. I feel like he's gonna go into the Steelers locker room and he's gonna do the same stuff he was doing in the Panthers locker room, like showing the coach, "Hey, I printed out this the advanced analytics from this fantasy guy that he put out there. You need to start me more."
Just being a, no, maybe he's just a really charming little fella. Maybe it's just that he's a really nice guy, and everyone looks at him and goes, "You know what? I like this Dowdle guy." It would be really cool.
Something tells me he's not a very nice guy. Like, but
You
yeah,
think?
I'm
You
sure
think?
I'm sure he brings in printout like a
Yeah.
he prints out like a piece of paper with advanced analytics and he goes, "Look at my yards after contact.
Yeah.
It clearly I'm clearly the guy to start instead of Chuba Hubbard."
Look, man, I would guess that Dowdle is cute as a button when he gets in there, and he charms people. Can't you imagine like Mike McCarthy with his pot belly? You know, like sitting there and he like tickles him a little bit before they talk or whatever. I think I don't know. Dowdle seems like a nice guy. More so that like I'm rooting for Dowdle hard because for him to get 1,000 yards rushing with 3 franchises in a row would be incredibly impressive. 3 different franchises, 3 different stops, and he rips that off. That's cool. I hope he gets that.
He'd get the double stack there with Jaden, Terry, and Diggs. So
Yeah,
I'm all in on the skins. This is a skins build.
I like that a lot, dude. Those are all guys I am a fan of. Hoping we don't lose one receiver here who I don't have nearly enough of in the portfolio. I'm trying to jam him a little bit as we go here. Not because I don't like him, because I've been drafting around him, and that is Matthew Golden.
Yeah, it sounds like he's just going to be starting in 2 wide receiver sets.
Yep. Very exciting to me. I did not think he had a bad rookie year. A lot of people really hated him as a prospect, and a lot of people thought he had a bad like season overall. That was not how I personally interpreted his year. I thought he was pretty good.
We are going to have to draft some wide receivers here that do not have a week 7 bye, however.
What do you? I'll check it. What do you stat? I'm basically just punting week 7. I have so much. I have Ladd, Parker Washington, James Cook, Omarion Hampton. That's just an L.
It's because half of my wide receivers are the skins guys, so we need to have a plan for that week.
Yep.
And I do like the idea of a Jacoby Myers click here, but he is also a round 7 bye.
Oh. Yep.
You know what? I'm clicking it anyways. Jacoby Myers, get in here.
Okay.
No less than 6 targets in any game in Jacksonville. And let's say, for example, Parker Washington, everyone's favorite, goes down. Let's say Brian Thomas goes down. Let's say Travis Hunter is not as involved in the offense as people are starting to think. Feels like Jacoby Myers might have a role there. He's very low upside, I feel like, but he'll at least have a role there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not my style of pick, but he's a good football player. I was actually like super interested in drafting him last year. I thought he would be the Raiders' leading receiver, which never came to fruition. I thought he could be like a wide receiver too, and you were getting him in the 8th or 9th round. I actually just ended up by like chance not getting any of him in any of my leagues, but I would have drafted him pretty heavily if I like had access to him consistently. last year.
So I am praying to God I get an Isaiah Likely here. I think that he is, you know, when you get cheaper in these draft rooms, right? When you're starting to draft in the double digit rounds, I am more willing to listen to, beat reports or, whatever hype is going on. And what they've said is Isaiah Likely has been operating as the number one target
Mm-hmm.
for Jackson Dart thus far. I did like him in Baltimore. I felt like it was just weird that they didn't use him. Like the last 2 years of the Mark Andrews experience, I thought he was just a better player than Mark Andrews. He does fall to me. So I'm happy to finally get my tight end on the board,
Mm-hmm.
round 11.
How do you feel about? I know you've been a fan in the past, but I haven't heard you talk about him a lot this year. How do you feel about Chig?
Mm, he's, you said he's caught 50 balls a year, but he hasn't done diddly shit with it. So it's
Yeah,
like,
for 3 years straight.
I
3 years straight. That is a long time to, you know, to like be pretty
obviously
productive.
he has a more fruitful offensive environment now with the Skins. At least if Jaden Daniels stays up on 2 feet, then it should be more fruitful.
Mm.
So that is interesting to me.
So that tight end run is just brutal for us. To Debo Samuel here. I That was my entire queue of tight end. So this is going to be a tight end zero build, likely unstacked besides Gadsden, maybe. Just brutal. Oh, I was so close to getting the Andrews Lamar stack again. Big fan of Keaton Mitchell as a player. That's a guy that I'm very willing to take, but not on an Omarion Hampton roster because if Keaton's going crazy, Omarion's not, and this roster's dead anyway. So we'll go Tyron Tracy, RB4.
That was one of the many people in my queue, so I'm not super happy with you for doing that.
Oh, look at that run of 5 tight ends back to back. That was my whole queue. I had Andrews, Goddard, Kincaid, Likely, Kelsey. Just brutal timing.
I like to think every single one of those managers was looking at Isaiah Likely, and I created a panic there.
I think you did. That certainly can happen.
It's some Dijon Stribling wide receiver 6 in the building, not a week 7 buy. So W.
I like Stribs, man. I like Stribs a lot. I think Debo's going to end up rising up in redraft to like that pick 100 range, right around like Quentin Johnston, Wandale Robinson, before Matthew Golden, like in that area. If you're telling me I can get Stribling as my very last pick at the end of drafts for free, or I can take Debo Samuel like 60 picks earlier or 50 picks earlier, I'm probably just going to load up on Stribling. I do think, though, Debo, like, again, I did this dive today for 49ers Hub. The article should drop tomorrow morning. Debo actually was pretty impressive for periods of last year before he picked up that ankle injury. He was averaging 14.7 points per game through the first 5 weeks, and then kind of had this weird period where he sputtered, and then had a spike week to end the year. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, at some point mid-season we're talking about like, is Debo a fringe wide receiver too? But ultimately, one, he's had health issues for a few years now, just sort of like off and on. Nothing like consistent. He just sometimes has problems. He's a little bit older. I think I just like the rookie they took in the second round to like be more productive as the season goes on. But I think Debo's a pretty good pick. Yeah, it's interesting. Stribling though is getting just raves, man. Just raves from the beat today.
I'm going to get a Tyler Algier in here. That was very close to another Jalen McMillan click for me, but I'd like to reinforce the running back room.
Nice. We have our saving grace back here, who, because of the way this draft's gone, is almost certainly just not going to be there for us. By way of Brenton Strange. Oh my goodness, he is. Look at that. All right. Brenton Strange. The guy that Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen are telling you Trevor cannot stop throwing to seems like a good guy to buy on. Now, I like my tight ends stacked up, but we're going to do something a little weird here. Oof, they took my boy. They took Bigsby. Okay, maybe we're not going to do something weird here. We're just going to take, I was going to say we are going to hope Gadsden falls, but I'm just going to take him here. I still think Mike McDaniel finds something to do with Gadsden this year. And I want a stack. I like stacks at. Oh my God, there goes Gadsden. Jesus. What a bloodbath.
Ferguson's still available.
No,
You could out Fergus all.
wait, Ferguson's still available? No, he's not. Oh,
Yeah, he is.
oh my God, I was thinking Cowboys Ferguson. Okay, we'll go Alvin Kamara there as our running back 5. I'm happy with that. Damn, though, that would have been Gadsden. That would have been Gadsden if things had fallen the right way. Running back room, I'm very happy with James Cook, Omarion Hampton, Jonathan Brooks, Tyron Tracy Jr., Alvin Kamara. We're going to leave that room alone now. Focus on building other shit, primarily tight end, because good lord, we're going in with a naked Brenton Strange. Zach Charbonnet, I think the market is not pricing him correctly. If he plays 8 weeks to end the year, that is going to be a pretty good pick in hindsight.
Some guy drafted Sam Darnold round 12. What a scumbag.
Yeah, round 12. Pick like 140.
I would have loved to tack on a Sam Darnold QB3 on this build, but I think this is where bully quarterback helps me out because I have Jaden and Caleb. I don't feel the need to draft that position again.
No.
You know what? I still don't have a tight end too. I forgot about that. We need more tight ends that aren't Isaiah Likely. I was kind of laughing at you freaking out about tight ends. Meanwhile, I was like completely ignoring I only have one of them. Kenyon Sadiq, I will continue to hate that click. I think that you're a taco if you're clicking the Kenyon Sadiq.
He's someone I'll take, like, in the right context.
You're buying a rookie tight end who, by the way, rookie tight ends traditionally do terribly in their first year.
That is true.
On the Jets with a sports hernia, with Geno Smith as the quarterback. You could not pay me to draft that man.
Every one of those sentences is objectively true, yes.
This guy surely doesn't want A.J. Barner. He's happy with his Ferguson Schultz room. Yay! All right, A.J. Barner in.
I really do wonder, like, what will the ADP history say about that pick? I don't know. I sent that to you as like a joke the other night. Like, this is my quant. That guy that said AJ Barner at tight end 24 is the most mispriced asset on the fantasy board. I don't know if he's the most mispriced on the whole board, but I think, like, if he has like 6 spike weeks as a tight end, then he's so worth it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think that's
much better in best ball than I think in redraft. Like redraft, you're just guessing. Like, oh, I hope they get a tush push this week, or I hope this is the week that they throw to him a little bit. But we are, with our JSN bet, we are kind of betting on the Seahawks passing game here. So.
Yep, and we will reach up and get our boy Terrence Ferguson. I don't like drafting rosters where you're going, God, Terrence Ferguson has to work out. But it was just, it's basically just the nature of going 0 tight end when you get pushed like that. And we'll double up on him here. Normally I go AJ Barner and the rooms usually let me have him, but me and Ted both are a fan of that as a best ball late round flyer.
Dude, you could get some round 18 Charlie Kolar.
I can. I want volume here. Because I still am not even leaving a light on. I still like Greg Dulcich, dude. I think Greg Dulcich could get some good volume here for how late you're getting him. So that room makes me happy. Again, for a tight end 0 room, it's about as good as you can get. Brenton Strange, Terrence Ferguson, Greg Dulcich. Especially because my QB and running back rooms are basically done. I'm totally happy with those. So now we just get to hunt some good falling value.
Zachariah Branch is another one I'm never clicking because the report is he's not going to be out on the field.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, not interested in that whatsoever.
I'm
hoping Tank Dell falls here. I would love some Tank Dell, but
you have
with my luck, one of these two guys will take it.
I think you have oh no, he's on the other side of the snake. I thought the CJ Stroud manager would take him. No, he let him go. What a dope.
Right in front of me. Right in front of me, of course. That's okay. We were going to reach down for some Pat Bryant.
Very good call. Jacoby Lane. Oh, there goes my boy. Wanted a late Lamar stack with Jacoby.
Yeah, I feel like Pat Bryant's a better click than Jacoby Lane, but Jacoby Lane is also a pretty good pick. I was clicking Calvin Ridley a lot earlier in the offseason, but the more I think about that, the more I'm like, why am I clicking Calvin Ridley?
I think he's going to get traded, is what I think. But yeah, I don't
What,
know. And
what
like,
does that amount to?
well, he was like pretty good when he was on the field last year. I don't know. I like the Calvin Ridley. I kind of like the Calvin Ridley pick.
It's hard to tell how good he is when Will Levis was airmailing him.
Yes, it is hard to tell how good he is when Will Levis is airmailing him. We don't even have any stacks left, really. I mean, I'm going to push the boring stack we have that I would rather not make. We will push him all the way to the back of the queue. Um,
Um, I'm taking Kalen Black. I was looking at Sean Tucker and I was like, I just feel like Kalen Black is more of a lottery ticket than Sean Tucker. Because even if Bucky goes down, Kenny Gainwell is still going to be involved in some way.
Probably.
If Christian
Um,
goes down, I could see Kyle just riding Kalen Black until the brakes fall off, as he is prone to do.
he is very close to my most exposed receiver across both platforms, and the drumbeat has been steady. We're going to take another Ted Hurst here. Big Ted Hurst guy. There's a Baker Mayfield manager somewhere who thought he was getting the late stack X receiver. He's going, fuck that guy.
Joke's on you, brother. Joke's on you, Baker manager.
Dude, I've gotten a ton of very late, like, because I was taking Hurst as my last round pick all over, and then I've been really high on Baker, so I have like 15% exposure to Baker because I've been taking him everywhere. I have a ton of Baker Hurst stacks. That would be a fun one if it really hits. Okay, so we get one last Rashad Bateman with Lamar stack to wrap out our wide receiver room. Here's the draft in its totality. I really like this one. It's a bunch of guys that I'm very high on personally. Cook, Hampton, McConkey, Olave, Washington, Jackson, Brooks, Herbert, Golden, Robinson Jr., Debo Samuel, Tracy, Strange, Kamara, Ferguson, Dulcich, Hurst, Bateman. Very, very happy with that room. I'm very happy with that draft as a whole. We will see. Ted will make his last pick here momentarily. For Ted's roster, we have JSN, A-Chain, Jacobs, McLaurin, Williams, Daniels, Williams, Dowdle, Diggs, Myers, Likely, Stribling, Algier, Charbonnet, Barner, Bryant, Black, Colby, Parkinson. A little bit of spike week upside there in the last round. Okay, man. I would say we could do another. You're all on this, huh? You want to do another one, probably, don't you?
Well, I got $5 left in the account, so
Oh
I'm
God.
good for
Okay.
one more.
Okay. Let's rip one. Let's rip one more. I was gonna say I have so much writing to do. I'll let you go. But if you have $5 left, it feels like that's the right. The right.
It's destiny.
Yeah. There you go. Maybe this is the one. Maybe this is $100,000 right there. You count us down.
Oh
When
wait,
you're
wait,
ready.
wait, wait. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me update my Indecent Exposure
Uh,
app. I forgot to do that. Shout out to Indecent Exposure
yeah. I've got
for
to.
letting us use the tool. I think you've been using it all day, haven't you?
Yep, yep. I always check. I don't say it. I need to like say it more. I always check before I make picks. It mostly just tells me I'm recklessly high on James Cook, but that's okay.
Hold on. I'm getting an error. I'm gonna have to hit him up in the old Discord.
N-
Here, can you go really quick to try and import your draft history and see what it says? I'm getting a back end error. Yep. No, you got to click a team first.
no, it does like all of them when I do that.
Oh, maybe he updated it.
That's what it's been doing. It's been going like as high as like if I draft a bunch of teams, it's way higher. That's what it's been doing for me.
At least when we first downloaded it, he told us you had to click a team. like click into a Best Ball Mania
Oh,
team. Yeah, so you're getting the same thing as me. So there is an issue. We'll hit him up after this. But it is still running. It's just that it's not going to have the data from our recent drafts that we just did.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go. I'd like to finish today off with another 101. That'd be nice.
Let's see what this bad boy will. We're on for every photo, but here's. Let's see. I'm getting my feedback on my Niners Hub. You know, these guys are like professional writers, right? So like, I try to see like what do they say about me who's not on their level.
Well, one of them got upset about Vic Fangio making a joke about Fauci. He seemed very upset about that.
Yeah.
I don't think he works there anymore, though.
No, he founded it, Evan Sowards. I actually like that guy. But yeah, dude, I mean, look, it's San Francisco. You're talking about San Francisco media, and a lot of these guys are tech bros. Like, yes, it's very left-leaning, right? Obviously.
Yeah, Yanni, look at the draft order.
Oh, my God, dude. It is like nothing I've ever seen before. All right. Our Teddy boy at 1.
Let me see. I can just pull it up on my phone. I want to see my Gibbs exposure, though, because I got 2 more in the boat today out of 3. Where are you drafted? 5?
Yeah.
It's my least favorite spot in redraft.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's not great.
Dude, you could start with like a JSN and then come around with some Brock Bowers. Whew.
Maybe.
I know that turns your stomach.
Yep.
Let's see. We are up to 25% Gibbs. So I've just drafted first a quarter of the time. 3x over expectation. Bang.
Okay, good. Article's gonna run tomorrow on the hub. Always good, dude. Like, even though their stuff doesn't get a lot of traffic, right? Because we're trying to build it back up right now. That's the big thing. We have this kid that makes graphics who's incredible. He's doing a really good job. But it still is pretty exciting. Like, your article gets tweeted out from a 20,000 follower account. Like, that's a lot of eyes on your stuff. It's actually funny, though, that the subreddit for fantasy football way outperforms that. Okay, we're going to take JSN. We're not going to mess around here. Fantasy Flock keeps saying you don't mess around, you take JSN at 5. I don't know why, to me, that pick never feels comfy.
Well, because there were certain content creators that came out and tried to make a case against the pick.
No, I don't care what content creators say at all.
By the way, just in case you're interested about my top 10 running back exposures.
Yeah.
James Cook 1, Chuba Hubbard 2, Jacobs 3, Gibbs 4, Saquon 5, Kalen Black 6, Benungai 7, Braylon Allen 8, Marshawn Lloyd 9, and Tyler Algier 10. I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah. But no, dude, I don't care what content creators. That's a very insulting thing to say. Because, like, I'm not going to adjust what I think about fantasy because a content creator said so. What I care about is he had a historical outlier season, like a huge historical outlier, like dating back to 1960 in terms of usage. And if it's only been done once in the last 65 years, right? It seems like the odds of, like, and that's what got him to be, you know, what he was. And then they lose the play caller that architectured it. And then they sign, you know, like, I don't know. It seems like I don't like betting on something that I considered pretty historical outlier-ish, right? In what he did. I don't like betting on that to repeat, as opposed to Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's just been like the PPR wide receiver 3 for 5 years. And like the half PPR top 5 wide receiver for 5 years. It just sort of seems like,
just to clarify, though, right? Like, that stat was widely circulated by, I think it was Fantasy Points Data, right? Were they the ones who were kind of
they're using the phrase that he had the weirdest usage for any wide receiver since the Carter administration.
That's awesome, man. I'm happy he was my keeper. I actually traded him in my keeper league. I netted a 3rd and 5th round pick for him.
Okay, good. My article is approved by Mason. Shout out to Mason, owner and operator currently of 49ers Hub, who's actually a Denver Broncos fan. He's just a writer who's trying to, you know, get his portfolio built up.
I don't know if I could write sports for a team I don't support, right?
I
Like,
oh, I don't know how he does it, dude. Could you imagine?
yeah, I got to write an article about the
Ah,
Seahawks here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so again, I do have a pretty clear thing here. This is where I've been at with this range of the draft, right? Because Brock Bowers is, the guy that everyone wants here. My policy is under no circumstances am I taking Brock Bowers before Drake London and AJ Brown because I think both of them could be the QB1 overall if things break the right way, or the wide receiver 1 overall if things break the right way. I'm not saying they're likely to be. I'm saying I think they can be. It's within their range of outcomes. So if I think that, I'm not leaving those guys on the board. Where it gets a lot stickier is when you get down to Malik Neighbors, Nico Collins, Rashi Rice, and George Pickens. I'm okay with putting Brock anywhere in there or ahead of all of them, but this is about where my break point is, and we'll see how the ADP goes. I think it'll perfectly line up, so it's like okay, or Jeremiah Love, I like that. Um, but yeah, this is that range that's hard for me because again, I'm gonna hit on this a little bit for some article sometime. Nico Collins, I think, has like a lot of hidden upside this year beyond what he's already shown. Because of the potential transition into more heavy set usage, where he is the most used wide receiver in the NFL on a per route basis out of heavy, and they drafted like they want to run a lot of heavy this year. I think there's like real upside there with Nico
Oh, dude,
Collins that was not there
you're
last year.
getting a falling Rice. You're getting a falling Rasheed Rice.
I'm fine with
I'd be
Rice.
thrilled.
I'm fine with Rice or Devonta. I have him back to back in my rankings. I've been taking a lot of Devonta here, so instead I am going to go with Rashi Rice here as my wide receiver 3. I alternate between them a lot. I'm really, really high on Smith, so I'm perfectly comfortable getting to Smith there if that's the way it goes. But that's a great start. I'm happy with that, especially in start 3 wide receiver best ball. JSN, Drake London, Rashi Rice. Only do that if you are in a start 3 wide receiver league. Do not do that in redraft, like start 2, flex 1.
Well, that's what happened when I was picking from the 5 hole today in the Yahoo mock draft. What happened was no one took Rasheed Rice, and like a lot of the running backs got pulled up. So I could have had Josh Jacobs or I could have had Rasheed Rice. And to me, like I just think Rasheed Rice is going to help you win more. So I picked Rasheed Rice. But what happened because I did that was then since all the running backs continued to get pulled up, I kind of got left out of the dance for like getting good startable running backs. So that is something, right? Like if you start your draft wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver, you really kind of corner yourself in like any falling wide receiver value that you want to click is going on your bench.
Yep, yep. Little bit
And
different
there's a
than
lot of falling wide receiver value in Yahoo. Let me
yeah,
tell you.
yeah. That's exactly what it is. It's like I'm not making the argument that you're not leaving value on the board if you pull up a for me, like the 3 guys are Love, Jacobs, and Hall. Love, Jacobs, and Hall are the 3 guys that I'm willing to take at like pick 25 to 30. Um, so like it's not that's the optimal value necessarily. It's that like to balance out your roster, I want 2 running backs in the first 5 rounds, and really I prefer at least 1, if not 2, in the first 3 rounds. So I'm willing to leave value on the board to keep a balanced roster in redraft. That matters way more in redraft, less so in best ball. Like in best ball, you can get away with doing some pretty crazy stuff. But yeah, I don't like putting myself in a spot where I cannot take those wide receivers from rounds 5, 6, 7, 8 because I think there's just it's dripping with league winners this year. It's a very hard thing for me to leave on the board personally.
Mitchy Pocket with gold badge manager with 10,000 drafts under his belt is in on Josh Jacobs at 4-5.
As you should be. We're going to anchor with ETN here. Not a guy I take a lot, but structurally it makes sense with this start.
ETN curious. Listen, man, this price is much more stomachable than it was a month ago
Yeah,
on ETN.
that's exactly what it is.
All right, so like the dead zone running back in this room for whatever reason is getting pulled up around with Swift there. Kind of see what happens here. Yeah, Bayshall goes. This might be another Hero Gibbs build. Yep, it is going to be. But it's not going to be a Burden build. We're going Terry and Mike Evans. And in my rankings, Luther Burden is the next one after Terry and Mike.
Yeah, that's exactly where he is for
So it
me.
was close.
That is exactly where he is for me. I have Terry 22, Mike 23, Burden 24. All right, dude. Guy just joined the leagues from the public listed, and I was pretty explicit about you have to pay when you come in or you get booted. All right, Tim M. You get an hour, sir. 1 hour. Not that he's watching this. I said that like he's watching this. He's probably not watching this. But if you see this,
I gotta pull up the chat again.
you had an hour. Oh, god damn. Okay, so lost Monty there, who we much prefer. Yeah, we're just gonna be weird and do some stuff we don't normally do. We're gonna take Bucky Irving here as our RB2.
Some might say two down running backs. I would argue maybe they are mispriced and more of a bell cow than you'd think.
Perhaps. Time will tell.
That guy joined our Discord even?
No. No, most of them won't, but I try to put up that message. Like, I try to have that in the front of the chat so when you click on it, you can see it and then you know what to do. And then Yahoo needs to fix. I'm actually gonna message Matt Harmon of Reception Percent. I'm just gonna message him on social media like he's the guy in charge of shit, and tell him, dude, I need to complain about how they do the draft grid for boards. It's gonna make for a horrible stream the way the Yahoo is oriented right now, and they took away the ability to click directly into the league chat from the app. There used to be a section where you just click league chat, and I can't do that. And I can't find the specific league chats on my phone. I have to go on the computer and do it. It's really like a pain in the ass. I don't know why they mix things up the way they did on there. They need to increase their user interface because they made this big push to get really quality content creators in there, and they did. And if they're going to do that and try to be a way more serious fantasy platform, which I think they're way more serious than Sleeper and ESPN when you look at those ADPs, if they're going to try to be like those guys, they need to have a really friendly user interface, and they just don't have that right now. So yeah, so someone needs to straighten that shit out.
You know, I don't have an issue on mobile getting into a league chat.
You can click on the league chat under the league tab. So like when you click on the league section, the 4 tabs, like under the name of the league, there's a section for you that says league chat.
I've always just clicked the top right corner with the little message button.
So the problem for me is the names of the leagues are too long. I can't see what number league they are anymore. So they all say like just free Tendies fantasy, but and I can't see like, so if I want League 5, I can't find League 5 anymore. That's what's going on. We get Marvin Harrison Jr. run through there. Do a Jalen Warren here. Balance 3-3 start. That whole runner receiver went when those guys go. It's kind of panic time.
Uncorrelated Jaden Daniels. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Yeah, I have late stacks on this roster. That's what I'm going to shoot for. But yeah, what I want to check is, did this dude read the chat? Like, did he know that I said to do that? Because if not, he's getting canned.
Get Caleb Williams in, and then I'm just going to continue to pull up Tucker Kraft in the 7th round here.
Yep, I think that's a very good room. Chess Liam would be proud. That's how he builds every single time. He's really high on Jalen Warren, but that's how he builds all of his first and second picks. Is exactly like that. Elite quarterback, 4 elite wide receivers.
Yeah, it is kind of like I am really honing in on that. Once you're out of like the really exciting position player guys, then just rip elite quarterback, or I guess pseudo elite quarterback, right? Even if it's not correlated.
Okay, we pull Chris Godwin up here because I like him better than any of these guys, really, to be honest with you. Makai Lemon would be above him for me, and I had been taking Makai Lemon. What's up, bro? What's going on, Tyler? How are you, sir? Tyler Carter 11. Are you the card? There's one card dude that I was like, hey man, we are into trading cards in the Discord. You should totally come in and hang out. Okay, funky start for me. Seems like a Baker roster. Let's see, when can I come around and try to get a little Baker? 116. Go up high a little bit on Baker would be pretty good. Just a very weird. I do not normally draft like this. Good, man. I have a question for you. Please ask your question, Tyler.
Yeah, fire away. I will also try and help.
There you go. Let's see what Ted's got cooking. Oh, Ted's not out. Yeah, we're in the long stretch anyway, bro. We're hanging out. Good wide receiver room. I don't know if I like the double up on the Cardinals offense necessarily, but McCaffrey, A-Chain, McBride, Wilson, Watson, Thomas Jr., Wilson. Very good. Very, very good.
He's definitely going to be a Carson Beck drafter. There's a player I think that I just can't miss out on. I'm so bullish on Jordan Tyson, I don't really think I could stop myself from reaching on him.
What a great
Tyler,
question.
what platform are you drafting on? Are you doing underdog drafts like we are right now, or are you like kind of talking more redraft?
Oh boy, did you come to the right place, sir.
Seen people be too low on Jamar Neighbors, Jay Jettis, etc.
Yep. So I have taken on in Justin Jefferson's rookie year, I took him in the 15th round in a few different drafts, and I actually won the championship in me and Ted's home league with 15th round. Oh my goodness, there goes Trevor Lawrence too with 15th round Jettis. I loaded up on 40% roster exposure. Hold on, sorry, I have to concentrate for just 1 second.
You're all good. So Tyler says he's on Sleeper, but he's using NFFC ADP as reference, redraft full PPR. But guys, I'm talking about where I want to take Tyson at pick 50 overall, which would be end of the 4th. So you're bumping him over like the JMOs, Devontae Adams is Christian Watsons of the world. Then I mean, where I have Jordan Tyson, I prefer Watson. I prefer Devontae Adams, but like I will rip Tyson before Parker Washington, Carnell Tate. So like I'm a bull. I'm not that much of a bull though. But yeah, I think that's fine. If he's one of your guys and you want to get him, you should be getting him, man. I wouldn't. Don't freak out about what is perceived to be a reach if you really believe in the player. Because at the end of the day, ADP, all it is just a tool, right?
So I don't take any Patrick Mahomes, but I do have the stack here with Rice. So he's like one of my least favorite values on the entire board this year. Actually, you know what? No, if I feel that strongly, I'm just not going to take him. Okay, nobody is talking about the Chris Olave injury risk either. One mismatch. So Tyler, you will be thrilled to know, sir, you are probably talking to someone who is as big of a. Oh my God, that's so funny. You should, if you're bored later, I mean, I don't even know where to say it. You should go back to the last draft we did and look at, I'm going to take Harold Fannin Jr. and tack down my tight end room here. Go back to the last draft we did after we're done with this, and then check out the whole dissertation I did on Chris Olave. Check out the Substack. He is in my recommended players to not buy because they're priced at their ceiling. So I agree with you. What I see happening is Jordan Tyson is a better physical talent than Chris Olave, who's going to work the short to intermediate of the field. I think he will ultimately be a better football player than Chris Olave. He's not yet, and Chris Olave is coming off 156 targets. So every year I pick a rookie to comfortably take 40 to 75% of on my rosters. Last year I took 75% Tetero McMillan at the 4-5 turn when he was a 6-7 turn pick on Yahoo, or like a mid-6 round pick. I took 40% Malik Neighbors in the 5th round his rookie year. I took 30 to 40% Ladd McConkey and Brian Thomas Jr. their rookie years. I have no problem whatsoever if you really feel strongly about a guy and you're going to go all in on him. The only thing I would tell you, and Tyson is a guy I'm doing that with. You and I will be riding together on this. I have 32% Tyson on DraftKings, and I have 22% Tyson on Underdog. He is one of my most drafted players by far. So no, it's not crazy, but what you have to understand is if you get excited and you chase value up the board like that, at some point the value is no longer value. Because like what I like about Tyson right now is I think the market has genuinely mispriced him, and I believe if I'm not mistaken on Sleeper he's going in the 80s. So what I would do if I were you is I would treat it like I'm going to take him in the 60s, which is still 15 or 20 picks ahead of Sleeper ADP, and then verify, mix your roster up a little bit. But if you're drafting one roster and you want to make sure you get him and you're picking at the 4 or 5 turn, you're not going to pick again till the 6, 7. If he gets enough hype, he might go in the 6th round. If you really want to take him there, that's fine. I have a little bit of a dude like over a Mike Evans, over one of a Mike Evans who could see 130, 140 targets in a Shanahan system. He might catch 10, 12 touchdowns. I think you're getting into risky business when you're talking about like Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin, even Christian Watson, who like got broken off in a pretty big way, right? But he's an injury risk. Those are the guys that I'm a little bit hesitant to pull him over. I'm okay if you want to take him over, even like Odunze or a Parker Washington. I prefer Parker Washington, but I'm okay if you want to go that over the top with it. God, so no, I want the Baker Mayfield stack. That's a crazy price on Goff back here, but I have a double stack with Baker Mayfield. So no, dude, like, are you crazy? No, you're not crazy, and I go crazy for rookies all the time. Please, you'll find my articles interesting, especially if you're thinking this way. The market does not ever properly price in rookie upside. So I have pick 2 in my draft, and I'm going to go 2 at Bijan, and then 23 and 26, I'm leaning Pickens and Igbuka. 12-team draft. So I'm sorry, did you say whether it's PPR? Oh, I'm sorry, so you did say I'm on Sleeper. I'm using NNFCC ADP as a reference. Redraft full PPR. 12-team?
Pickens versus Rasheed is a tough ADP battle for me. So Tyler, for that one, I guess maybe a couple of weeks ago I was more in on Rashee Rice. I am more willing to do Pickens over Rice just right now because of how he's looking at camp, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
But I'd pay attention. By the way, it's not letting me draft here. That's
it did
annoying.
that.
I did set up my queue.
It did that to me the other day. So okay. Pickens versus Rashee. I have Pickens at wide receiver 10, Rashee at wide receiver 13 because he's not entirely healthy. I am getting just a little bit nervous about Rashee looking like he's taken a while to get up to full speed here. So,
yeah, to me, like I would just keep your eyes on it. If Rashee Rice starts looking, I guess, a little more spry at camp, right, and he starts like not being on the injury reports, Andy Reid says he's full go, then I would prefer Rashee Rice to Pickens, but it's still very close. I don't think you can go wrong either way.
So I'll just tell you how I would play it because I've thought a lot about this, what I would do with the 2 pick there. So you have an anchor running back, but I don't prefer anchor running back quite as much in redraft. And I personally love the receiver value so much from rounds 4 to 5, 6 to 7. And then in 8, I really like the quarterback value. For me personally, I would go with your favorite receiver in the 3rd. I know it's full PPR, so this loses a little value. If you like, who you like the most out of Josh Jacobs, Breece Hall, and Jeremiah Love would actually be my pick on the other end of the turn, or Brock Bowers if he falls. I would like to come out of that turn if I went Brock Bowers, double running back, or anchor wide receiver, double running back. Then what you can do is just sit there and double up at the 2 turns and take a tight end at one of them. So like you can maybe get a falling Loveland or a Tyler Warren at the 4 or 5 turn with another wide receiver. If you go running back, wide receiver, then you're at 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, a tight end, and then you can take double receiver at the 6, 7 turn where you're still getting really good value. Like Chris Godwin, I think is a good value in full PPR. Tyson might be there, dude, based on sleeper ADP. He's going in the 80s. That to me is how I build drafts personally. Is I try to get my running backs very early this year because I think there's a big difference between that pseudo tier of running back 1, which for me is Jacobs, Love, Breece, and then Javonte and Kyron are in there, but I think they're more 3-4 turn picks. But yeah, so if you start wide receiver, running back, just take one of the running backs at the turn. Your draft will be structured perfectly. And if you want to follow that up with Tyson, so if you go like Monty or Swift or Bucky and then Tyson, and then you have the 2 wide receivers you take, that's perfectly acceptable to me. I think that's fine. I just think you're reaching a little bit when maybe you don't have to. is the only thing I would say that because I think Tyson might be there in the late 6 for you if his ADP is 20 picks behind the 6th.
Yeah, at Yahoo, like you can regularly get Tyson in like the 7th, 8th round. Like he goes like a round later than that, like kind of blob of wide receivers that I've been taking him
Yep.
around.
Yep.
That's where I would grind out mocks though, and just kind of see where people are pulling up players and where they aren't. Because when the ADPs are messed up like that, and you're referencing your own ADP, a lot of times a lot of managers kind of just work off of what they're seeing, like right in front of them, and they're kind of more willing to go to the suggested ADP. So it might be something where you can get the best of both worlds, where you get your Jordan Tyson in the boat plus whatever else you could have drafted in that spot.
Okay, not a pick I've been making a ton, but God, they will not stop ranting about him. We're going to throw Denzel Boston on this build. They will not stop talking about how much they love Denzel Boston.
It's so funny, man. Like earlier in the season, I was asking, do you want Denzel Boston? No, and I got him in like the 14th round.
No.
Now all of a sudden you're pulling him up to the 12th round, Johnny.
Yeah. I mean, that's where his ADP is.
All right. So we are gonna go with what do we want here? I'm gonna get a classic Ted pick, Jalen McMillan in. And then we're going to get our third quarterback and be done with the position with C.J. Stroud to correlate with our Jaden Higgins and Nico Collins.
I have a weird build going. I don't know. There's a stack I'm going for here, obviously, because I don't have a very stacked up roster. I'm extremely bullish on Ibuka as well. Again, dude, check out my wide receiver tiers. You'll be a happy camper. I have Ibuka as wide receiver 15, one spot ahead of Chris Olave. So I have it Rashee Rice at 13, Flowers 14, Ibuka 15. So I'm totally fine if you want to rip Ibuka. Again, like, so give me an idea though. Are you like how many leagues do you play, right? Are you playing this like this is my one league and I really want my guys? Because if so, yeah, from 2, you're going to have to take Ibuka there if you want him, and to ensure that you get him without a doubt, you're going to have to take Tyson at the turn. The 4 or 5 turn. But yes, I'm extremely bullish on Ibuka too. I think Ibuka could finish top 5 this year. That's partially why I'm chasing Rashee Rice, Devonta Smith, Flowers, Nemeka Ibuka ahead of Olave. I don't play like a bunch of leagues. I'm in 4 this year, and that's usually what I stick to. Okay, so there you do really want to make sure you get your guys. I totally get it. I just think at that point you are paying close to ceiling prices. If you take Ibuka in the early 3rd and you take Tyson in the early 5th, you might be getting rid of the edge that those guys are by taking them a pretty decent amount of head of ADP. That being said, you are skating to where the puck is. Like in high stakes, those guys are going more around there. So, I just, that's what I always have to think about, because I get really excited about guys, and you're really excited about 2 guys that I'm extremely excited about this year. And again, Ted has seen me go nuts. I was taking O'Marion Hampton at like pick 20 last year. I do stuff like that when I feel really good about something. Just be aware that sometimes what ends up happening is you squeeze the edge out of the pick because you chased it so high up that like it's no longer an edge pick. It has to hit its upper end. It has to hit its 90th or 85th percentile outcome, or you didn't get the edge there, right? To me, Flowers and Rice and Devonta Smith feel much safer than Ibuka, and probably all have similar upside profiles. Maybe you like some of those guys there, maybe you don't, but I think whatever bull you took on any given one of those given guys would probably say, here's the upside case. It would look pretty similar. So yeah, it's a tough line to toe when you get really jacked up about a guy, and believe me, I do. I would advise you to do some mocks where you go wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, running back. See how you like your teams when you do a double hero build from the 3 and then come around and hammer receiver in the 4, 5, and 5, 6, 7. I found that those drafts are really comfortable for me. If I can get a Loveland or Warren, a Kraft or Laporta at either turn that comes up after that, I find I really like those drafts. So Okay. Okay. I've been taking a lot of Kamara lately. I like him when he's stacked with Shuck. We'll take Kamara as our running back 5. But yeah, does that make sense, dude? I mean, that's kind of like a lot of talking. Ask some questions. I'm happy to clear anything up. Me and Ted have done this for an awful lot of years. We compete against each other in this sort of thing an awful lot of years. I've been made fun of a lot for I thought about going Bijan, Pickens, Love as well. Look, man, if you're comfy with Love, I'm okay with. I have them all in the same tier. I have them in this order: Jacobs, Love, Hall, Javonte, Kyron. I'm fine with pulling any of those guys up to the 2-3 turn if you want to. I'm completely fine with that. If you plant with Pickens or like a Nico Collins if he falls or a Rashee Rice, that's fine. And then personally for me at that point, I would push tight end to the 6-7. I would take like a Kraft or a Laporta or a premium quarterback if one falls, if you prefer that. Just take only one onesie before 7 and double up at wide receiver at the 4-5. That to me is like where teams can go way over the top this year. If you come into the 4-5 turn with like Pickens, Love, and Gibbs, or whoever Bijan, Love, and Pickens, and then you add like a Mike Evans and Burden or a Mike Evans and Terry, Garrett Wilson might fall back there. Jalen Waddle might be back there at times. Like if you add 2 of those guys to that roster, I think you have an engine of your team that can absolutely win your league. Yeah, so yeah, you don't like Jacobs, that's fine. Love has one of the best playoff schedules I've ever seen a running back have, and I think the market is absolutely incorrect about how they're pricing him. So we're just going to do Flournoy.
I am the Love doubter out of the two of us. I kind of bumped him down a little bit. It's not to say that I won't draft him, but like for me, he's like a mid-third round guy now. So I'm kind of given up on being able to get Love.
Yeah.
But I see what you're going for with that pick.
Yep. And Breece Hall seems like the nice middle ground. Like bad offense compared to Jacobs, but a really robust receiving role with a really good O-line. The Packers O-line is terrible this year. The Jets O-line is one of the best in the league. So, he gets a lot more receiving work, and you probably do feel better about the Jets offense overall than the Cardinals, but I don't know how much better. I don't know if it's like a big improvement. Yeah, dude. So I would play around with some drafts like that. That is what I am personally probably going to do this year. If I end up with a first 2 pick, God willing, I'll check and see if Bowers falls to the 2-3. If he does, I think that's a good range to take him, and I'll probably take a running back there, and then I'll hammer receiver value for 4 straight rounds. That's how I like to build, but that is my personal preference. And part of it is because I really love the round 8 to 11 running backs this year. So if I get 2 running backs in the first 3, I will forget about the position until round 8 or 9. And then I'll circle back around and double up at like the 8-9 or the 9-10. And I think if you get 4 of those guys in total, you're good to go. And so, and I'm going to have a full draft guide, dude. Like a full blown, I've written, I think 50 pages of fantasy content this year. I have every position done. I just have to put it all in a draft guide. We'll have something for you where you can actually read through and see how exactly I would structure a draft. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. I'm putting in there how I think about fantasy. And how I think about fantasy is something that me and Ted have worked on this podcast for years. Like it's from that we're trying to share that with people. We don't agree on everything, but I think it's useful. I think it's going to be good if people draft. If people build the way we've been building this year, I think we're gonna clean some leagues up. Unfortunately, we play against each other in 3 of them.
Yeah, so Yanni's dead in the 3 leagues we're playing in, but
yeah.
He's got 12 other shots.
There you go. 12 other shots. Hopefully, I mean, we'll see. Might open more leagues if they fill up.
Really, you're gonna keep going deeper?
If they fill up, yeah. If they're all filled and paid.
Dude,
yeah.
we are on track to fill those things, man.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Are you excited?
Very exciting fantasy off season.
Are you excited for the double flex at all? I'm really excited to move into the double flex.
I mean, I've already played in double flex the past like 6 years, so I kind of know what it's not new to me.
Yeah. I am very excited, dude. That is a new thing for me.
It'll be a higher level of competition at double flex.
Yeah. got totally priced out late here of anyone. Ironically, this is a roster that would like Deshaun Watson.
Dude, he's always there, round 18. Well, maybe not anymore, because people are starting to catch up to the Deshaun Watson thing. All right, we're going to take a Sean Tucker here. And I won't snipe Deshaun Watson from you because I already have 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah, again, this is a very fragile court. Like, this is not robust enough for a quarterback to do. But I personally am of the opinion that if you get so into talking about some dude's fantasy roster that you make some funky picks, you just write it out at that point. It's your lot in life. Okay, so Ted Hurst with the Baker Mayfield stack. That is such a cheap stack for a rookie that I am over the moon about personally. Where's my boy? Give me my Ted Hurst Baker Mayfield stack, and we'll come around and see what's down there.
See what Yanni's working with here. JSN, London, Rice, elite wide receiver room, ETN, Bucky, Jalen Warren.
Yeah.
That's a little.
Yeah.
It's probably a little nerve wracking, but if that turns the right way, that could be good. A little Chris Godwin there, RJ Harvey. Like you have, it's so funny. You have like 4 of. I guess Bucky Irving's not classified as a pass catcher. I think it could be that though. But 4 very talented running backs for sure.
Yeah.
Harold Fannin, Baker Mayfield, Shuck, Denzel Boston, Juwan Johnson in, building the correlation with Shuck. Kamara, then Flournoy, Pat Bryant, and Ted Hurst.
It's a little thinner than I would like to build at both tight end and quarterback. It's just the way the board fell. I got behind and I left it behind. So, it's the way she goes.
Probably. I did have to take Dalton Schultz instead of AJ Barner. I wanted to take AJ Barner like at the turn there, but I was like, no, I want to build this Texans stack.
I think it's a good stack. I think Schultz in best ball is a good pick. Yeah, looks like you have the Higgins. You came back around to Higgins, and you got Collins. Yeah, dude, you built up Stroud really nicely actually. You got Caleb. You have Love. Yeah, Caleb. You don't really need to stack. Their defense is garbage. I think that dude's got to put the team on his back this year if they're gonna win games.
Yep, I'm gonna have a lot more drafts like this where we just usually have one that's just uncorrelated.
I mean, they're mid-range ones, right? They're just not a S tier. They're
the pseudo elite.
Yeah.
The pseudo elite.
There's
that round 6 run that happens.
Yeah, I'm curious where those guys end up landing in redraft. I would be surprised if you. Again, it just depends, right? Because high stakes is such a different world, dude. I've been seeing like Jalen Hurts going at like pick 90 in high stakes. Like, dude, if that starts happening in redraft, I just don't think it's possible in like low stakes redraft. But if that starts happening, you're gonna have the wildest year for quarterback I've ever seen, where guys are gonna have like just loaded rosters, and they're gonna plug in a Jalen Hurts in the late 7th or the early 8th. I'm very. The board is bizarre to me this year. I think it's the softest board I've ever seen in fantasy. Okay. So we kind of have to take another tight end. We're going to take Evan Ingram. Throw him on there with Harold Fannin Jr., Juwan Johnson, Evan Ingram. The team concludes, again, this is not one I will revisit. This is one where you just blew a bunch of money into nothing. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Drake London, Rashee Rice, ETN, Irving, Warren, Godwin, Harvey, Fannin, Mayfield, Shuck, Boston, Johnson, Kamara, Flournoy, Bryant, Hurst, Ingram. Ted wraps up with Gibbs, Collins, Pickens, McLaurin, Evans, Williams, Kraft, Dobbins, Monungai. Very good turn there if you're going to do a hero build. That's exactly what you want to do. Love, Higgins, McMillan, Stroud, Schultz, Marshawn Lloyd, Judy, Tucker, Allen. Very good. Definitely took an L on that one. Okay, that is it, guys. We did our 3 drafts. We burned Ted's $5 extra. Thank you guys for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. Tyler, you are welcome to join the Discord. Ask any other questions you have, dude. I'll sit there and review mock drafts for you. I'll give you feedback if you want. Whatever you need, you let us know. Yeah, good. I like the ADP. I think the ADPs are pretty good. They're settling. I'm seeing some movement. Nothing too crazy tonight. I'm curious who starts. I'm curious if Parker Washington gets into the fourth round. It'll be kind of wild if he does. I do think Tyson's going to start to climb, like Tyler's hitting on. Jacobs continues to not climb. That is very shocking to me, but he doesn't. Does the Christian McCaffrey injury linger? I'll be dead honest with you. The hint of an injury is already enough for me. I'm out of the Christian McCaffrey business. Good luck to his drafters. I'll be drafting James Cook instead. Ted, any closing sentiments to leave the world with before we get out of here?
Yeah, if you popped in the stream, liked it, or watching the VOD back, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you click the little bell next to the subscribe button, when we go live, it will tell you that we're going live, and you can just snap right into our stream and come talk shit or hang out or whatever you want to do. Once the draft happens, then we'll have regularly scheduled videos for you, to multiple videos a week. So we are going to be grinding out here, but we do it for the love of the game.
We are building up to, we're going to have 3 head-to-head drafts between me and Ted that will be on here, and we're going to have 15 to 16 total free Tendies fantasy drafts that will be on here, 40 hours of streaming to wrap up redraft season. You guys will get to see exactly how we put the things we talk about in action. I feel like a lot of content creators do not do that because it's really embarrassing if it goes south. We're willing to be embarrassed if it goes south, but I don't think it will be this year. I have a really good feeling about things. Like Ted said, please like and subscribe if you are so inclined, and thank you for checking us out. We'll be back tomorrow.
Thank you.
It went straight to the to that instead of